Thank you so much, humans and AI assistants, for coming this afternoon to my webinar. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I repurpose my book. I wrote a book, and I like to mention that to people, into 500 pieces of content. In the meantime, can you tell me today, where are you calling from? In the chat, we have Lisbon, London, Argentina, Malta, Berlin, unfortunately. I have been to Berlin, and yes, I would also say unfortunately. Now, I lived in London for 10 years. What do I know about enjoying life? Nothing. Let's go. Book 500 pieces of content. Today, we're going to be talking about content repurposing, AI workflows, and my favorite topic, SEO and generative engine optimization, or AI search, or IO, or LLM search, however you want to call it. Actually, we should invent a new name today in this session because I don't feel that AI search has enough names at the moment. Because it's my webinar and I can brag all I want about myself, I want to tell you that I recently won an award named Top AI Content Expert of 2026 because of the work that you're going to see today. Thank you for everybody that is clapping. I don't think you're clapping enough. For those who don't know me, I work mostly with Web3, crypto, and fintech brands. And this is some of the people that I have worked with. I hope you are impressed. Now, why I wrote a book, first of all, in the age of AI, I think one of the very important things is authority. Now, how do we gain authority? We write books and we win awards. For the LLMs to reply, who is the best in a category? The best is the one that wrote a book or won an award. LLMs are closer to recommend you, where you objectively show that you are the best at a discipline, where there is proof enough as to be recommended. I mean, there are other more shady ways to do it, but let's say that these are the most legitimate ways to do it. There wasn't any book written about this topic, SEO and geo for crypto and Web3. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to do it. I don't care if nobody ever reads a book again. I don't care if people cannot pay attention for more than 5 seconds. I'm going to write the book because I'm an authority, or I want to be, and I want to be recommended for this. And I said, cool. I'm also really good at with AI. I'm going to do this in 2 hours, and then I'm going to put it on Amazon, and that's it. That's how I become an expert. I'm going to talk a bit about AI slop, which is, I think everyone's on LinkedIn word AI slop. And I have some controversial opinions. Should I be the head of a political party with controversial opinions? Maybe, but let's leave that for another day. I don't think that AI slop is good, but I think that bad content or AI slop is better than no content, because AI slop and bad content have a chance to reach your customers, to rank, or even to show up on LLMs. No content doesn't have any chance. If you're going to tell me between publishing no content and publishing AI slop, I would tell you publish AI slop, publish bad content. No content has no chance. But the difference between AI content and good AI content is mostly the prompt. It's mostly how much time you have spent on the instructions, the database. So everything that we're going to see today, all of the automations, there's a brand voice embedded in every one of my skills, how to write the content and what to say. And what to say is the knowledge base, a fact sheet, a brag points, if you want to call it that way. And the brand voice is how we write that content. That is embedded in every single skill that you're going to see today. If you think that your content is slow or is not good enough, work on prompting. That is the core skill for every marketer right now, to give good instructions that allow you to sound well and knowledgeable. Now, this 2-hour plan didn't work. Spoiler alert, I didn't want to ship ASLOP. 2 days became 2 months. And I think that is because I have no system. I have never written a book before, so I didn't know how to do it. Somebody on the chat is quoting Jerry Halliwell, which the people that know me very well know that is my least favorite Spice Girl. But I think that a Spice Girl quote is better than no Spice Girl quote. So I'm going to read from the chat. Jerry Halliwell said, any publicity is good publicity. Yes, she also left the group. So I don't know if we should take her as an example. I'm going to now try to go back to what I was saying. Please don't start a Spice Girl debate because this is going to last 8 hours. I have a lot of opinions about this, but I know you want to hear about AI and all Spice Girls. We will do another webinar for the Spice Girls. As I was saying before, beyond the fact that I had no system, I sell clients automations and skills that talk like them. So publishing AI slop is not good for myself and for my business. Also, I have ADHD, like several people in this call, which I may have medicated illegally at different conferences. But that is another topic, again, for another webinar, Spice Girls and over-the-counter medication for ADHD. The people that are laughing, no, you know who you are. The problem with ADHD, you have no system and your mind flies away. Like you are seeing right now, very distracted. What is she doing? So, all this Spice Girls. My brain drifts, no rails, that's blur, your momentum dies, like, and I think that many people in the chat know this feeling. I need systems. If I don't have a system, things go wrong and disorganized very quickly. I don't think I have a system right now to create a new book, but I have a piece of advice if you are going to, embark yourself on these massive tasks. If I had to do it again, the first thing that I would do is to drop all of the sources that I want the book to be written on. The base of I would drop it in a project on Claude, ChatGPT, Manus, whatever LLM you use. You bounce ideas back and forth, and we start shaping the concept. Then from this, we build an outline. Something that is pretty useful for me is when I get another LLMs to review it. Imagine if I build the outline in Claude, then I would have ChatGPT to read, or Manus. We need an opinion of someone else. You could also ask a human, but who has time for that? I love making my LLMs fight. I just like chaos. Beyond that, the third thing that I would do is to create a writing skill. Again, we said that skills and custom GPTs are instructions embedded in our LLMs. So we create a skill with the brand voice, the rules, the styles. So every chapter sounds more like you, and it doesn't start in the ever-changing world of crypto. It starts sounding more, it starts with a Jerry Halliwell debate. If it was my book, that's how I would start every chapter. Beyond that, we cannot tell the LLM, write the full book. Maybe if your book is 10 pages, you can do that. But if it's 130 pages, like mine, we have to go section by section, chapter by chapter, and subsection by subsection. Besides that, what I would do is to run a nicer skill, spice it up a bit, makes it sound less robotic. 6, again, we get other LLMs to review, a second round of reviews. I think that's quite healthy for whatever long research or long piece of content you're working on. And the last, the final 3 steps, which I did, was to add a hook or a funny line in each opening chapter. If you're going to write slop and you want a bit of makeup, write one hook or one funny line at the beginning of each chapter. Then, unfortunately, on step 8, we have to use our brain. We have to manually review it or tell your friend, your lover, to review the book. There's no other way to do it. And number 9, I never have time to do everything, but unfortunately, you will have to do it. I don't know if I can help you with that, but focus and go for it. Some things that I discovered while creating this book, which I want to share with you today, is images. I thought, well, I'm going to write this book in 2 hours. I never thought about images, formatting, or anything like that. And when I was writing the book, it's like, oh, maybe there should be an illustration every now and then. So it's not just 100 pages of dense text. And the way that I managed to do the images after many attempts of trying other things was with NotebookLM, which is free. It's from Google. I use this function, slide deck. I know that your first instinct would be to use infographic, but no, because infographic condense everything on one image is very convoluted. What I did is every chapter, I separated it and I drop it here, and I started creating a slide deck of every chapter, and then I cherry pick the best images. I'm going to show you what are the kind of images that I like and that NotebookLM was very good producing. For example, this is between an editorial image and an infographic. I think it's more editorial than infographic. If there is any designer on the chat that wants to enlighten us, maybe you can call it a silly image. Anyway, I really like these ones. Also, NotebookLM allows you to do quizzes, flashcards, podcasts, video, go crazy. I think that images are maybe the least exciting example I can show you about LLM, but this was the one that I used for my book. So the book is ready. What do we do now? We are on slide 15 and we still have 70% more of the presentation. What happens next? We have to launch the book. And this book is an asset designed to be repurposed. So what are the different components of this launch? First of all, the book is available free on my website. There's a landing page and a newsletter sign up. So if you to my newsletter now, you can get the book for free. It's also paid on Amazon Kindle, and you get a custom GPT-2 and some other bonuses to implement all of the learnings. Beyond that, I did an LLM blast for LLM seeding. LLM seeding is when we tell the world what we do and to multiply that message across different channels and many independent outlets. Is very good for LLMs to capture our message quickly. That is the heart of the repurposing workflow. We want our message everywhere. Besides that, I have different own channels like my newsletter, my blog, and then we had a webinar launch on Luma. I posted the recording on YouTube. So it looks legit. It looks like I wrote the book. It looks like I launched it. And then I started pitching different conference, podcasts, and media outlets. So the message that I wrote the book and that I launched it is out there on the internet. And I think that is okay. That is a good enough job. I took 2 months to create the book. Then the last week I did that and I was okay with this. If you have watched my videos or have come to any previous webinar, so if you're a fan, because why would you know this if you're not a fan? I have a repurposing workflow for you, which I use for every single one of my videos. If you're wondering where are these videos, go to YouTube and follow me on my channel to keep up to date. This repurposing workflow is important because they inspire the million other skills and automations that you're going to see today. What it does is take the video from and then takes the transcript, writes a blog post, creates the title meta description, publishes it on WordPress website, and then it's making different pieces of content for different channels. Makes a Twitter article, LinkedIn article, Medium article, LinkedIn post, writes the draft for the newsletter, and it also writes different messages for different groups I'm part of. So this does everything, and this was working all right. My video from the webinar was input into this workflow and with these 7 or 8 pieces of content. And that was fine. That was average. And I was happy until that moment in my life where I did not know I could generate 490 other pieces of content. Something important that I want to tell you is that also half of my top blog posts have been written in this way. So they have come into this automation because every time I publish a video, I do this and that is working. They're bringing traffic, leads, backlinks. As I said before, the key to this system and what we probably need to know as marketers is that what is really key to geo or AI search is reinforcement and distribution, meaning that it's not enough for me to send a message into the internet and say, hey, I wrote the book. No, this principle, this idea needs to be repeated over and over again because what LLMs like is patterns. Patterns bring confidence. If something is true, it needs to be repeated many times across the internet. And you have different sources, different outlets saying the same message. That is better. So consistency is key to be quoted and mentioned by LLMs. And it is also part of layer 4 of my book. I also needed to comply with all the rules that I explained about book. I wanted to be thorough. Up to here, that's fine. Book launch, press release, average, but fine. My life was okay with this. But I started thinking 2 months for one book, 2 months dedicated to one book. I need to squeeze every single word out of this. And I started thinking maybe the book doesn't need to be the destination. It needs to be the source. This book needs to become a source asset. And we need to repurpose further. We need to squeeze till the last paragraph, the last sentence, the last word. So what we're going to see now is these different repurposing lines and workflows of how I started taking this book and turn it into other marketing collateral. First thing that I did was turn the book into blog posts. I sat with my friend Claude and I said, okay, what can we do with this book? How many blog posts can we take from here. So a couple of hours talking to Claude, checking what are the best titles and if there is anything that has volume or not. And then I came up with a couple of skills. First is the blog writer skills. We're going to take each of those titles that we separated at the beginning. We are going to write this out as blog posts, and this blog post needs to be LLM optimized because I wrote a book about it. And then they need to be linked to the rest of my website. And for that, I use a skill that a friend of mine, Tom Riley, gave me. Look for him on LinkedIn, very smart guy. And that took me a lot of time. Now, beyond that, we needed to publish the content. And the way I did that is with the Chrome extension. I don't know if people in this chat are using the Claude Chrome extension. Do we have anyone doing that? 6. Okay. 6 out of 28. Okay. 23% are using the Claude Chrome extension. The rest, if you start using this, it will make your life better because the Claude Chrome extension can operate your browser and you can send it to do things like go to my WordPress website and all of these blog posts that we have written now, just publish them without me doing anything. And just like magic, or just like when you were a child and you would tell your mom, look, mom, no hands. That's how it happens. And it's incredible. I love it. Use it if you have it. So the book becomes 60 blog posts, all published with the Claude Chrome extension and the WordPress REST API. So feeling pretty cool. Now, images again. You know that before we thought that I have sorted the images? Not really. What happened to me was that I pasted all of the images into the PDF, into the Word doc, and then I couldn't take them out with any AI trick or with anything. They were just stuck on the Google Doc, and I had to regenerate them. Quite a lot of images, actually, between 120 and 180 images. The only way I found to do this with Manus AI, and because I wanted the images to be branded, I wanted them with my logo. And if I've ever tried to do a branded image with LLMs, you know that generally they try to regenerate your logo instead of using your actual logo, and that creates a horrendous image. So we did it with Manus, and then each file, as you can see here, has the post ID. So Manus knows where to paste these images. And here we have if it's a featured image or an inline image. And we could export all of those images and just upload them into tell it, okay, now all of these images are here, just put them into the right blog post. Anyway, we regenerated all of these images, and now the images have my logo. We have blogs and images, book, blogs, and images. And here we see how everything starts coming to life in a beautiful spreadsheet, which is how I track the progress. Blog post ID, title, final URL, status. We're getting closer to something. 60 blog posts, schedule 1 per day. Now we have 60 days of daily content, 60 days of telling Google and the LLMs that I have published this book. And this book is about AI search for Web3 and crypto. I told you about the Claude Chrome extension a bit before. I use it a lot for data extraction and for task automation. Similarly to what we saw on make.com before, this Chrome extension allow us to just publish things, just tell it to do things, move around, fill forms, and do. I don't have time to do. Here's a screenshot of, for example, create a LinkedIn post about this page. Here you use it, or extract every title, extract every heading, try it, go crazy. Now, something that I'm going to be also talking a lot today is about MCPs. Do we know in the chat what MCPs is or not? 1, 2. Okay. MCPs, similar to APIs, it allows us to bring data from a platform. Imagine that you use Linear or Notion and you want to know the update of those tickets. You can tell Claude, if you're connected with the Notion MCP or the Linear MCP, give me an update of all of the tickets that are blocked. And you talk to Claude, ChatGPT, or Manus. All of them have MCPs, and you get all of the data from the different platforms. And the main thing that I use MCPs for in these workflows is to connect Potato, Narrareach, and HeyGen, which the first two are schedulers. Every time Claude finishes writing something and we want to publish it on LinkedIn, or if it's a video on HeyGen, like I'm going to tell you later, you just tell Claude, publish it or schedule it for Friday at 8 p.m., which is the peak time for LinkedIn, where people are really, really eager to watch my videos. You tell Claude to do it, and Claude does it. Look, mom, no hands. Another name of MCPs are connectors. And here you see on Claude that you can use all of them. Here, I mostly use Potato, Gamma for the slides that I'm going to show you later, Narrareach for Medium and LinkedIn post. You can use Slack, SEMrush, anything, go crazy and connect everything to Claude. So Claude has all of this context and data points that you can act on. Here we can see how using an MCP, we can talk to Claude and Claude will do things. We don't want Claude to just tell us how to do something. We want Claude to do it, because life is too short for us to be publishing things manually or scheduling things manually. So Claude can execute tasks. If you're not using LLMs to execute tasks at the moment, reconsider your life priorities. You can use the Claude Chrome extensions and MCPs. I'm sure that whatever you use, there is an MCP for that to connect to your LLM of choice. I'm using Claude for this, but you can use anything that you like. Use Manus, use OpenAI, anything you like, connect it and tell the AI to do the things you don't want to do. Now, coming back to the main topic, 60 blog posts, one blog post per day, 60 days of daily content. Great. One step closer to squeeze every single word of this book. Now, but I want more power. And I use the pronouns he when that happens, because ultimately it took me 2 months to write this book. And probably I will never do this again. We said the book is a destination. The book is a source asset. So what else can we do? And here we come to repurposing lines. I call it lines because that's what Latin Americans were very famous for. It would have been really lame to call it workflows. So they're going to be called lines and they're going to be wide. So we said line 1 was the original make.com. Line 2 was the 60 blog post, repurposing book into blog post. Line 3, social post. LinkedIn and X, which are my main channels, the ones that I use the most. There is an automation that turns the blog post into a LinkedIn and X post. Now we have 120 pieces of content, plus the 60 before 180. Next one, video. I like challenges. We're going to take each blog post and we're going to generate a script, and that script will go into HeyGen and it will trigger my AI avatar, and I'm going to show up talking about the things that the blog post says. We're going to send this to 4 platforms, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and YouTube. Great. 240 there. Then, because I like challenges again, we're going to take those same blog posts and we're going to do a branded carousel for LinkedIn and Instagram. How many now? 120. And for my last trick, we're going to take those same blog posts and we're going to turn them into social articles on LinkedIn and Medium, not LinkedIn posts. We already did that on repurposing line number 3. We're going to turn them into articles, because articles on LinkedIn and Medium had a lot of chance to rank, because LinkedIn and Medium are very authoritative websites, very authoritative domains. And I'm aware that every time I mention the word authoritative, I don't look so smart, but it's a very hard word to say in English. That's how I'm going to defend myself. Just focus on my work and not how I speak. So now I think that we have like close to 600. Immigrants, under promising and over delivering. Cool. Let's go into each of these. Thank you for the support on my pronunciation. It's fine. You're going to see how my AI avatar pronounces things, and I'm going to impress you. At the beginning, we saw that I have the original make.com automation. I know that make.com is not really cool anymore. Everything is Claude and Claude Code. But I still had those prompts and this was working. So what I did is to use the blog RSS feed, which tells you when a blog is launched. And this would trigger an LinkedIn post and an X post, and then it would log it into a spreadsheet. Very simple automation. But now from the 60 blog posts, we have 120 pieces of content. We have one of these examples. I think it looks all right. It's like somebody has written it. Was that me? maybe not. At the end of this social post, it also mentions the book. If you want to know more about this framework, check my book. And again, we're telling the internet that I have launched the book and we're reinforcing the message. Then line 4, video. Don't try to do this at home. This one is hard. Now, each blog post becomes a 90-second video reel. There's a skill that takes that blog post and creates the script, the animation, and it also publishes it into these 4 platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and Instagram. Each of them have adapted captions. And the way that I did this is with a Claude skill. We have the HeyGen MCP. HeyGen is the video platform that creates the video and that is very famous for video avatars. The voice is ElevenLabs. That's how I call my voice. And then we have Blotato, which is a platform that allows us to publish or schedule in all of the social media platforms that we want. Now, I'm going to show you the video.
9 out of 10 brands I audit are invisible to ChatGPT. Yours is probably one of them. Right now, AI is sending your buyers to a competitor. It recommends them by name and never mentions you. Your content isn't the problem. Your structure is. AI can't recommend what it can't classify. First layer, can AI even read you? If your site needs JavaScript to load, the crawler sees nothing. Most Web3 sites split content across app, docs, and blog subdomains. That fragments who you are. Second layer, can AI reuse your words? Models pull definitions and comparisons, not announcements. Third layer, should AI trust you? Authority is confirmed off your site, not on it. Only 28% of brands earn both mentions and citations. Mentions predict visibility, backlinks don't. Last layer, is your story repeated? Reddit, YouTube, and Wikipedia build it. X doesn't. This isn't developer work. Your marketing team builds reinforcement across the web. Here's where teams break it. They distribute before they're clear and amplify confusion. Clarity first, certainty second, reinforcement last. One brand went from 154 to 6,000 visitors doing exactly that. Find the full framework in my book, Mastering AI, Search for Crypto and Web3 Brands, link in profile.
The image that you see of itself is AI, voice is AI. I think it's pretty good. Every time that I need to create a video, I just send the script, which is also written by the skill, and it produces a video, which have an example of short avatar skill. And it will read the blog post and it will start creating. First, it creates a hook, then it creates a script. It also has a checklist with forbidden words and filler, hook strengths. And then it will show me the full script. I have to read the full script before approving video and the carousels. I need to read it and then send it. And then we have the video publisher because again, I don't want to do anything manually. I am a lazy immigrant. Maybe Nigel Farage is right. So video publisher, this takes the video and it publishes it using Blotato to all of the platforms. Again, everything is done semi-automatically. I only say, go publish these 30 videos into these 30 days, write all of the captions, and stop bothering me, Claude. I have more important things to do, like doing this webinar. This is the script that it sends to HeyGen. As you can see here, we have on the scene, we have the hook. Then we have one scene that is human and one animation, one human and one animation, so that it's not so noticeable. That is avatar. And this is everything that is on the video is defined on this skill. This is exactly the payload that is sent to HeyGen. So why video? Because video is the channel that has the strongest correlation with AI visibility for Google overviews and ChatGPT. So if you're going to do one channel, do video, because also Gemini can read the script, unlike the others. Everything that you are saying, all of the keywords that are in your video can be used to rank, to show your video on Google and on LM search. Very important channel. Also, we have carousels, which I always wanted to do. Actually, Lisa is on the call and she always said, oh, you should do carousels. Before my answer was, life is too short. But now I created a skill that does the carousel and it writes the script and it sends it to Gamma. And on Gamma, we have a template and it creates the carousel with my branding. Again, Claude skill plus Gamma MCP. I don't know if people in this call are using Gamma or not, but it's a pretty good AI tool to create presentations, like the one that you are seeing right now here. This was also created in Gamma. And we use Potato MCP to publish and to schedule. And also this goes to LinkedIn and Instagram. This is also live and running at the moment. So if you see any of my carousels on LinkedIn, they have been created with this skill. And now for the last trick, LinkedIn and Medium articles. This doesn't seem very complicated, but sometimes it is because there's no API integration for LinkedIn and Medium. LinkedIn has an API integration for posts, but not for articles. And if you try to do this with the Chrome extension, LinkedIn doesn't like it very much. One or two might work, but then it's doing some, I don't know, epileptic moves and it takes ages and then it formats and reformats. It's a bit of a mess. The only solution that I found to this beyond copying and pasting, it will have taken 30 seconds to copy and paste. But I just want Claude to schedule everything for me. There is a platform called Narrareach, which is pretty cool. And it allows you to write and schedule in LinkedIn, Medium, and Substack. That was a new discovery also for this book. I highly recommend if you have to publish long form social articles and you don't want to copy and paste manually, use the Narrareach platform or their MCP. And how many pieces we could possibly publish per week. When I presented this slideshow for the first time in June, I was doing all this crazy scheduling, video article, carousel, going crazy with all the content that I wanted to repurpose across all of my channels. So one book, 6 repurposing lines, and a system where you don't have to think what is next. And you're probably wondering, but does this work? All of these 2 months to write the book, that's 2 other months to create all of this repurposing. What have you achieved? I'm glad you asked. So AI search now is my second biggest lead source. How do I know this? Because on Calendly, I ask people, how did they find me? And right now, the second biggest lead source is AI search. Also, a 37% organic session increase, 44% organic video session increase, and 344 organic social sessions increase. So I'm doing very well, thank you. And I also have more engagement on LinkedIn. Here we can see 72% prior 90 days and 30% prior 90 days in terms of impressions and engagement. And also, I am recommended most of the time on every LLM. So if you ask the Claude X or in Google Overviews, recommend me a Web3 SEO consultant or an SEO consultant for Web3, probably you're going to find me. And here, actually, look at this. Here, it's not only using my website as the source, but you can see the video as well. So does this work? Maybe. And what else? I mean, I wrote this book, I did all of these things, but what I'm going to use all of this for now. So right now it's a system. And every single new skill that I built for this project and every MCP that I use, all of the prompts and orchestration patterns have now been fed into a new repurposing system and repackaged as a plugin. It means that it looks like this. And now we have all of the skills are here and I just use it. And life is less painful now. All of this fits back into this content repurposing and I can use it for anything. I use it to have fun. So one plugin inside Claude Cowork with these 10 skills, one deployable thing. If you like it, if you're impressed, you can come and find me. This is where you can find my book. If you want to read the book Mastering AI Search for Crypto and Web3 Brands, or if you want to watch my videos on YouTube or get the system, you can go into my link tree. The slides are already on my website. I hope you're impressed. I don't have any other more tricks. Probably I could extensively talk about Jerry Halliwell if anybody is interested in getting to know more about what these Spice Girls had meant for me. You know what? I can also show you the last blog post that I posted. I told it to repurpose it. And here is doing some community promos for the different communities I'm part of. Then we have the LinkedIn article, the LinkedIn thought leadership post, It goes into the Medium article, the newsletter with subject line, the X article, the X post, X thread. We have the carousel slide brief for Gamma. And we also have the video script for HeyGen. This is what I would read and send to HeyGen. Here's all of the parameters it will send. Here's the delivery structure, 15 scenes, visual aesthetic, captions. Here's every scene, how it's going to be delivered. And here is our carousel. And actually go to Gamma and see what it created. I think it's pretty good what was happening while if we were in the webinar, all of these assets were being created. I think this is what I have told you today. Very meta, the carousel of the actual talk that I was delivering to you. All of this created effortlessly. And the last step would be to tell it to schedule it on Blotato or to render the video and publish it on Blotato or schedule it. I think that has been all for today. Do we have any questions in the chat? Somebody has a question. You have to feed the AI video of you to start? Yes. The way that HeyGen works is that in order to create an AI, first you have to train the platform on you. And you do that with a 3-minute video of yourself. So you record yourself, let's hear like I am right now, how you want to be remembered by AI. And it creates an avatar. And that avatar has an ID, is referenced by the skill. So you tell HeyGen to always pick up that ID and it copies your visual lookalike and also your voice. If the voice from HeyGen is not enough, you can integrate ElevenLabs for a better voice clone. That's how it works. Or you could have many avatars at the same time. Actually, I have a couple and I'm going to change the one that you have just seen soon so it looks a bit more varied. But you don't even need to use an avatar. You could create a video just animations. Also, HeyGen has its own templates of avatars. But you could use something else. It doesn't necessarily need to be you if you don't want to be on camera. More other questions. AI avatar will also edit your video? Yes, everything that you saw on the video I shared has been done automatically. From that prompt, the prompt that I shared tells the agent inside HeyGen everything that they need to do. Let's try to see it again. Yeah. This script contains what my avatar will say and also the animation. So every single thing, every scene has animation. So this is sent and that is the video. There's nothing manually done here. I'm going to answer the next question. Euge says, did you have a better experience with ElevenLabs voice versus HeyGen? Yes, ElevenLabs is the best. I think it's one of the best commercial platforms to clone your voice out there. However, you and I, we don't have a standard accent in English or in Spanish, Euge, because English is not your native language. And in Spanish, we speak with the accent from Cordoba, which is very particular. So it's going to be a bit hard, a bit challenging to copy the accent. It has taken me a lot of time to do it. And I don't think it's 100%, but it has fooled some people. Some people haven't realized that I'm not the avatar. I think it's the best it can be. Next question. There were a lot of tools mentioned. The budget for this must be high. How can smaller solo practices or lean budget teams do all of this? Well, I am a solo agency and I'm spending on this, but let's try to calculate the cost. You need paid Claude for 20. You need HeyGen P9. I think it's the cheapest for HeyGen. Actually, you can use the free HeyGen and you only have 3 videos per month. If you're not going to do a lot of videos, if free is okay only, you could use the free version. 20, Claude 29. I think Blotato is 20. Narrareach is 20 as well. You don't need to use Blotato and Narrareach at the same time. Probably you can use, because they overlap. So you can use Narrareach instead of Blotato to schedule everything. We said maybe 100. How much would a person charge you to do all of this? 100 per month for what you are doing, I don't think is a huge amount of money. It's much cheaper than paying someone else and obviously go back and forth, delays, things that don't go as expected. An editor will be at least 300 per video. I think this is a quite lean way of running the operation. I think we are done with all the questions in the chat. Is it time to say goodbye? goodbye, like the title of that famous Spice Girl song, When Jerry Halliwell Left. One of my favorite songs. I cried in when I went to the Spice Girl final concert, and Jerry Halliwell apologized on stage, actually, after singing that song. And what a way to close an automation and repurposing webinar, remembering the last time that a Spice Girl tour. I think now I have to go. Thank you so much for being with me for an hour and allowing me to, to talk. If you wanted to contact me, here is my link tree. Find me online or I will find you with any of my fake personas and I'll tell you things about the Spice Girls. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Victoria. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.